One of the things that Elmer told me that really stuck out was, we've seen more destruction to our homeland in the past 10 years than we've seen in the past 200 years. And I think that's crazy. And when we went to his house, we saw the pond, and he told us the story of how when the landslide came and it kind of destroyed all the stuff that he worked on his pond. He put so much thousands of dollars to fix up his pond and put fish in it, and so his grandkids can come and fish in it. And then it got destroyed, and when they sort of fixed it up, it didn't really get back to the way it was. And Michelle said yesterday Elmer was an excellent micro example of a macro problem, and she talked a lot about that. And when the coal company tried to help fix it up, it took about 12 years, they said. And then he told us that his grandkids would have been about 20, and so they wouldn't really need much use for that anymore. And so it didn't really fix anything. And in Portal 31, there was an end video. We rode in this car that was really bumpy, and then there was these machines telling us what happened. They were shaped as adult minors, and they were talking to us, which was kind of creepy. But it was dark, and then it lit up, and there was this thing in front of you that was talking to you, and it was pretend mining or something. And then at the end of there was a video that kind of went through all the ways throughout the years how they got coal and stuff. And it said nowadays there is mountaintop development, which is kind of not right. And it kind of made it acceptable in the video that what they're doing is okay. And that was kind of weird. It was odd that they would say that.
We met all together at this pavilion. And right next to the pavilion there was a miner's memorial. It was a little fountain, pretty weeds, I guess, but it was pretty. And then next to it there was a sign. I don't remember exactly what it said, but something along the lines of, if you throw objects into a fountain, you will be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And at first, we first saw it and we were like, oh gosh, that's kind of harsh. But then my dad said how that was ironic. It took me a while, but I got it.
Well, one thing that struck me is how difficult it is. You were talking, your examples about feeling out of place, and how hard it is for these people who have joined Kentucky into the Commonwealth and who are, standing up. How difficult it is for them living there, because that's not what their friends and neighbors think, and their family members. And it's very difficult. Both my parents are from that area, and having spent a lot of time there as a child, I know how people think. And the coal companies have been there always, and there has always been a huge amount of disconnect between reality and what a lot of people believe there because of what the coal companies have told them. They don't trust politicians, and they don't believe in political change in a lot of ways. It's that kind of thinking that's gone on for generations. And it's very difficult for these people to face their friends and neighbors and say, there is a better way and we need to do something about the coal. And the mountaintop development, is that what they called it, Donna? I think the people from Frankfurt that came down were calling it mountaintop development, not mountaintop removal. So the politicians are definitely in the pockets of the coal companies. There's no doubt about that. And these people are really torn. They do not feel like they have a voice. And so much of it is because it's so difficult for them to speak out. They really do need people down here. It's easy for us to sit here and think, but they live there and it's their water that's being poisoned. Why don't they do something? Why don't more of them speak up? But it's a lot harder than you think when you live there and everybody you know is saying that you're a fool and all we need is jobs, because jobs have always been the biggest problem in the mountains. And that's been true since before the coal companies came. You know, making a living, just eating, feeding your kids, it's been hard up there, and it still is hard up there. And for a lot of people, that's the bottom line. And they don't think about what's happening to their well water and that kind of stuff. So they really do need us, and we need to support them because the state is for all of us.
One of the things that just struck me very strongly again yesterday was having to do with the idea of respect and feeling welcome. That people's lives were so tied up with what the coal companies said. They lost their own voice. That in years past, they had unions. In years past, they had the opportunity to say, no, this isn't right. And now that's gone. They don't have unions in Kentucky with coal mining anymore. And that's just, it was startling to hear that. That there's nobody there that will speak up for them and for the workers. A lot of the arguments for mountaintop removal revolve around if we get rid of coal, then people won't have jobs. But they're not doing coal mining in the traditional ways to give people jobs. Whereas they would have coal camps of thousands of people working in a drift mine like Portal 31, where people actually go in and dig and bring coal out. What they're doing is they have 10, 15 guys with dynamite and big machinery blowing up the mountain, clear cutting it, blowing it up, and then pushing it all around into valleys and into watersheds. And it's not providing jobs for the economy. It's not providing jobs for the people that live there. And so I appreciate, Donna, you talking about folks being welcome, because that's the thing I felt too. I felt like, peoples weren't being respected. The old ways were not being looked to. It was all about, doing the job, and it wasn't about the people that did the job. It was about the coal, and it wasn't about the people.
What I find is so ironic is that Americans, if it were the Rockies or the Smoky Mountains, everyone would be like, that's so unfair, those are part of our nation, this is what makes our nation beautiful. But it's the Appalachians that it's being done to, and so people are just saying, oh, it's just some dumb hillbillies, they don't need our help, they don't matter enough to get their homes and their lives safe and stuff, so no one cares. But